I usually like to do meditation afterwards. I tend to find that once you've heard the message, it's easier to get into the meditation because it kind of flows together. So we're going to do that. We're going to do meditation after I say what I have to say. So, it's March of 2020. We know what happened, don't we? I'm consulting, and my consulting business is taking the long way to growth. So, it's time to look for a job to get supplemental income. I'm not happy because it's going to take away from the time I have to continue growing my business. Our finances are saying it's time. It's Thursday, March 12th. My son, Vlad, who's the lead in the middle school play. He's the lead in the middle school play. His final year in middle school, he's in the 8th grade. And he is scheduled for play rehearsal on that day. The memo comes through that all after-school activities are canceled, and there's no school on Friday, the 13th of March. Did anyone realize that it was Friday the 13th at that? On Saturday, March 14th, 2020, we get the stay-at-home order, right? It comes through. 2 weeks, groceries for 2 weeks, call your creditors, check on family and friends, stay home. We can hunker down for 2 weeks. That was the longest 2 weeks I've ever experienced, ever. That was just over 5 years ago. No one has to tell you or I how quickly things can change. We've experienced it collectively. We know that a tiny little bug can cripple a whole world and cause chaos in ways we've never imagined. We know. But does knowing help us understand how quickly things can change in other areas too? The year before the pandemic began, I was driving for Uber, homeschooling my daughter, Zia, and slowly growing that consulting practice and looking for a job so we could keep our finances on track. The fall of 2020, the pandemic year, my daughter was enjoying hybrid school. My son was excited and frustrated to finally get to go to high school virtually. And my tiny consulting business was spreading its wings. All during a pandemic that had us all fully stressed. So let's talk about that. The first thing I thought when we received the stay-at-home order was, okay, in these 2 weeks, I need to push and get things going better in my business, right? 2 weeks, they said. The intention was there along with the willingness, but I didn't anticipate the anxiety. I didn't anticipate the lack of focus that came with uncertainty in the air. Once I realized I wasn't going to get much done without harming myself, I fell into grace. Grace is when you allow yourself to say, it's okay, you're okay. It's what we extend to our friends and family in their times of need, but rarely give ourselves. Grace is being kind to yourself and listening to what yourself is asking you to do or not do. So, I decided to offer myself grace, clemency, and kindness to allow for mental and physical well-being. Then there's space. After going through cancer treatments in 2018, I learned how valuable space was. Instead of going straight to the lesson of space that I learned, I think I panicked a little. Getting a job wasn't going to be fun, so I reverted to my old self, pushing and forgetting the importance of space. Space is when in the midst of overwhelm, you stop and allow everything to fall away. It's when you do nothing but breathe and listen to your inner self. It's where you allow yourself to know and understand that there's time, there's enough, there's space for all that you want. Just breathe. We, and as women especially, take on a lot of responsibilities because it's how we're socialized. We're socialized to take care of everything and everyone around us, but not ourselves. Taking care of ourselves isn't part of the deal because it's selfish. But is it really? When we allow ourselves that which seems forbidden, we soon realize why it's forbidden. Within the confines of overwhelm, stress, anxiety, and fatigue, it's near impossible to listen to your own voice. How can you become your most powerful self when there's always something else taking your attention? It's impossible to build, grow, and affect meaningful change when you're busy doing, helping, creating, and protecting everyone else's time and space. When we protect our time, when we protect our space, when we protect our energy, things change quickly. Without overwhelm, learning to manage your time and allowing for self-care brings better and faster changes than pushing, worrying, and overworking. When you're feeling overwhelmed or frustrated, here's something to remember. There is enough. Too often we're stuck in stress mode because we believe there isn't enough. There isn't enough time, there isn't enough space, there isn't enough money, there isn't enough education, etc., etc., etc. There just isn't enough. But there is. There's just enough. There isn't enough, so we feel we need to push for more. Instead, when you feel things closing in that way, stop and say, there is enough time. Or maybe when you're feeling overwhelmed, there is enough space. There's a speech that I wrote, and in that speech I talked about the anxiety that comes when you are in the midst of battling cancer. The anxiety of there's not enough time, there's not enough space, I have to do everything now because I don't know how long I'll be here. And the other part that says I have to take care of myself, I need space, I need grace, there is enough time, there is enough space. It's a push and pull, a constant pulling and pushing, because you don't want to not do the things that you need to do, and you push, 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 push. Then on the other hand, in order to heal and in order to be okay, you have to take the pause in the space. It's a battle. It's a battle. Let go of the idea that you have to be all the people, do all the things, and accomplish all the activities in a specified amount of time. Here's how. Change your mind. Yes, you can do that. It's allowed. It's recommended for growth. When you learn more, you can make more informed decisions. You can change your mind. Decline opportunities. Yes, you can. You can do that too. If it's not in full alignment with what's important to you, say no. Leave space for something that's truly right. Cancel appointments. Yes, you can. If you realize something is too draining, not a right fit, or just too much in the moment, cancel the appointment. It's allowed, and it's done all the time by those whom you see as successful. Take a day, take a week, take a month, if you can, off. Yes, you can. Even if you take an hour or 5 minutes, the difference it will make is incredible. Your mental and physical health require that time. It could be a day, a week, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, a year. It's your decision. It's your mental and physical well-being at stake. And finally, trust yourself. You're the expert on yourself. You know what you're capable of doing, and you know what you want to achieve in this life. Trust that inner voice that says yes or no. It knows. And the only way you're going to hear that inner voice is if you take the time and the space to hear it. When we decide to give ourselves grace and space, we'll realize that we get more done. You'll focus on what's most important to you, and everything else will fall away. It doesn't take overworking, feeling stressed and overwhelmed to be your best. And especially as I think of what's happening now, it doesn't take overthinking, overpushing, overexerting yourself to make a difference that is needed right now with people. It takes knowing what you want, focusing on it, and getting it done in the time you've allotted. One of the best books I've ever read was Essentialism, right? Focusing on the essential and letting everything else fall away. By the time March of 2021 rolled around, my consulting and coaching was actually growing. I worked 3 days a week with the public, 1 weekday internally, and I took 1 weekday that was for me to decide what I needed to do to feel my best. I work a job now, I still do that process. On the weekends, I got to decide if there was a project I needed to work on, but for the most part, I was doing household and family stuff. Using grace and space, I used the grace and space I came to rely on to keep me focused and healthy. When I look back over the last 5 years, a lot has changed. The grace I've had to give myself and the space I've had to take has been for so many varying reasons. Every time I realize there's a lesson to be learned, and the only way to learn it is by giving myself grace and allowing for space. My wish for you is that you'll give yourself more grace. and that you'll take the space you need to listen and learn about what means most to you. Then, and only then, will you find your greatest joy. So I want you now to close your eyes, and I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to focus in on this moment and what's happening now. Grace is not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about how you return to yourself, to others, to love, even after being stretched, challenged, or misunderstood. Think about a time when you showed grace, when you chose patience instead of frustration, kindness instead of judgment, calm instead of chaos. Feel that in your body. Breathe into that place, expanding, nurturing, strengthening. Silently repeat to yourself, I move with grace even when the path feels uncertain. I speak with kindness even when words feel heavy. I forgive because I understand deeply. Grace flows through me, steady, quiet, strong. Take a final deep breath in, and as you exhale, imagine a gentle light surrounding you, a glow of patience, kindness, and strength. You are whole, you are centered, you are filled with grace. Carry this calm with you, not as a mask, but as a reminder of who you already are. Graceful, grounded, and enough. You can open your eyes, and our closing hymn